Hey everybody, it's so good to be connecting with you on a Monday morning. It's fresh and lovely and everything feels clean and ready for the week outside. Hopefully it won't be a blue Monday. But yeah, what I thought about talking this week would be the impact that betrayal has had on many of the women that we have on our program. Um, and I think for years, women have been told that forgiveness is the goal. Forgiveness is the goal. If you could just forgive, and that if you just forgive fast enough, if you could just pray enough, if you could just love, sacrificially love these people with everything inside of you, and then somehow you'll just heal from betrayal. And I think it sounds like a wonderful idea. It sounds like a great idea. I mean, I think it even sounds a bit biblical. But I don't think it's the whole truth. I don't think that is the intention of God, that we just forgive and carry on as if nothing has happened. I've noticed that forgiveness in itself does not heal betrayal. Yes, and when I say that, it sounds like a heavy, hefty word. Um, Really, there's a cry from the ladies that I'm experiencing for safety. It's a loud cry. Um, And maybe hearing that forgiveness is not the source of healing, but that safety is. Maybe that makes you feel uncomfortable. It makes me feel uncomfortable. It makes me feel super like uncomfortable on the inside. And I'm not saying that you should not forgive. Forgiveness is part of it. I don't think it's the whole thing, by the way. Um, but if you're feeling uncomfortable, it's probably because somewhere along the way, someone used scripture, a verse from the Bible, to silence the pain that you've been feeling instead of validating it. So I think maybe it's a good place to start would be with truth. Um, and the truth is that forgiveness and safety are not the same thing. Forgiveness and safety are not the same thing. Forgiveness is like a spiritual choice, and it's based on what Jesus has done for us. And forgive those as God will forgive us as we forgive others. And it's got its place. Um, but safety is like a relational quality. You can absolutely forgive someone and still not be safe with them. And in fact, I think sometimes the contrary is true, that if we forgive someone, it increases the potential for harm and hurt to happen. And that's the problem that exists with forgiveness. And I'm not saying forgiveness is a bad thing. Hear me out. So you can release bitterness and still recognize that trust has been shattered. And forgiveness definitely releases bitterness, but it does not restore trust. Betrayal trauma is not healed by declaring peace like so many men do. It's healed by rebuilding safety. And that rebuilding doesn't happen in a single prayer moment. It happens through truth and time and consistent repair, fixing the thing that has been broken that caused the hurt to enter through the door. So when you were betrayed, your body and your mind and your spirit went into some sort of a survival mode. Forgiveness doesn't automatically tell your nervous system that you're safe again now. And it takes presence, it takes boundaries, and it absolutely takes truth. Um, I think betrayal isn't just an act. Betrayal is almost like it sets the the atmosphere, the tone of meetings. It distorts reality. It distorts memories. Distorts the sense of truth that you may have. So when people say just forgive and move on, um, it's like let's skip the part that makes us uncomfortable. And what makes us uncomfortable is facing the pain that we have caused. I think real forgiveness can't exist without truth. And truth can't exist without safety. I just had a conversation with a guy now on the program, and I said to him that he needs to inquire of his wife whether she wants to hear the truth. Number one, obviously she does, but can she handle the truth? Or the truth traumatize her further in a way that she can't handle? We need to understand this. I don't think Jesus just preached forgiveness. I think the point of what Jesus was trying to do was to create safety. I mean, he touched lepers before he healed them, and he invited confession before addressing the issue. Forgiveness was never meant to silence. I don't think the point of forgiveness is silence. It's not what it's about. It's not to just bring just to keep quiet. So yeah, it's fascinating just thinking about what it is that Jesus came to teach us and what he meant. Um, so I think the next question that comes to mind would be, what does safety look like after betrayal? I think safety after betrayal is honesty without manipulation. It's admitting that there are temptations. I think it looks like empathy without excusing the behavior that caused the reason to have empathy. Um, I think it's also about, for the wives, for the ladies, to learn how to trust again. And maybe even before learning how to trust again, learning how to trust my own discernment abilities. I can't trust other people outside of you if I can't trust myself. So safety means that questions can be asked without being punished for them. It means that your story is believed before it's analyzed, or your pain is respected, it's held before it's discovered even, or focused on. I think safety also means that you don't have to explain why you were hurt or what's the reason for feeling hurt. Explaining the emotion. Safety is when your body exhales and your heart says, I'm not crazy. Yes, I hear that so often. Every Tuesday morning, 8:15, we have a meeting with about 30, 40 women. I think it's about closer to 30 at this stage. And they just say, I'm not crazy. I'm not too much. Um, I'm not alone. That feels like safety. That's something that we are restoring in the process. And in our community, I've seen many, many women find that kind of safety, maybe even for the first time in their lives. I think women come in very shaky and very broken and very hurt and scared and unsure if they even belong in the women of worth community. I'm thinking of another lady. She's so hurt by her husband's betrayal and lack of interest that she's like, I can't listen to more of this pain and understand that there's pain that has to be shared. And we focus on sharing the pain because shared brokenness builds stronger bonds than shared beliefs. But I just don't feel like I belong here. And then when they join, they leave speaking truth with peace in their voices and in their hearts. This thing is just not a program. It's not just a program. It's not performance based. It's a safe table for women who've carried too much silence for too long, who are too scared to use their voices. So I don't think in a space like this you'll hear cheap forgiveness. When we give forgiveness, you are forgiven, you are powerful, you are blessed, truth matters. Um, you'll see a group of people who have discovered the power that lies in forgiveness. And that without safety, it's just another form of pretending. So here's what I want you to take away out of this chat here today, and that is forgiveness is not just step one. Truth is, forgiveness actually depends to a great extent on truth being discovered and heard and embraced. Obviously, you can forgive someone without the full truth, but that leaves no space for safety. Safety is the ground which allows forgiveness to grow in. And when safety is restored, forgiveness becomes organic. It becomes a real. It becomes comfortable. It becomes, like I want to say, it becomes not forced. Becomes not forced. So you don't have to rush to prove your spiritual maturity by just forgiving this person. You can pause for a bit, you can breathe, and you can start to rebuild the safety. And that could be done by putting in boundaries. I'm not saying that you should not forgive. I'm just saying forgiveness without safety becomes a recipe for disaster and repetition of the same abuse. And when you're ready, when your heart finally feels safe again, yeah, forgiveness will rise like a flower out of the ashes, like the phoenix bird. But until that point in time, your healing is holy work, and safety is your sacred ground, your sacred space. So if this message resonates with you and you've been told to forgive before you were safe, I want you to sit with this truth today. You're allowed to just pause, just take a break. You're allowed to heal first. You're allowed to find a space where your truth isn't just too much, it's just too much. Just keep quiet. It's over. It's in the past. Leave it there. Let sleeping dogs lie. Just forgive and move on. Your pain is not an interruption to someone else's comfort in this space. In this space, your pain is welcomed, it's embraced, it's held. We talk about staying on the pain field. And that's what we build in the Women of Worth community, not quick forgiveness, not easy answers. I often say, I don't know, but women who rediscover that safety and truth are the foundation of real freedom. Forgiveness doesn't heal betrayal, um, safety does. And then I just quickly want to end off with a scripture. Um, and this comes from Matthew 8, verse 2 to 3. It says, a man with leprosy came and knelt before Jesus and said, Lord, if you are willing, you can make me clean. And Jesus reached out his hand and touched the man. I am willing, he said, be clean. And immediately he was cleansed of his leprosy. You see, Jesus didn't wait for the man to be clean before touching him. He touched him while he was still unclean. That's safety before transformation, and that's grace before correction. And I hope that scripture touches your heart, and I hope it underlines the principle which I am sharing with you today. So I'm so excited about this week's chat. Please tune in tomorrow morning at 6 again. I am so excited to be sharing this stuff with you all. Just stuff that flows from my heart as we discuss things that's very important. Thanks, everybody. Have a nice day. Bye now.